Hey you, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. In this video we are checking out the Shure GLXD Plus digital wireless guitar pedal system, which is this nice looking system. So I was in the market for a wireless guitar system, and I did what everyone does when they are looking for something. I went online and checked out my options, and I quickly came across the Shure GLXD Plus system. So I reached out to Shure and they were nice enough to send me one of the systems so that I could make this demo. Now before we continue, if you are into these kind of demo videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and let YouTube know that these are the kinds of videos that you want to watch. Thanks. Now before we get into all of the cool details on this system, I just want to mention some things. First of all, this is a dual band system, which means that it can operate both on the 2.4 GHz and the 5.8 GHz frequency spectrum. And that means that it will automatically stay clear of all kinds of interference from Wi-Fi routers and cell phones and all of these things that usually operate in the 2.4 GHz spectrum. Now the system does all of this by itself. You don't have to worry about it or think about it. However, if you wish, you can do some of these things manually, and I will show you that later in the video. Also, the system is constantly monitoring your frequency, and if it detects any interference, it will automatically jump to another frequency, and it can do this while you're playing, completely seamless. You won't notice it at all. There are no dropouts when it switches frequency. It just works. Alright, let's check out the unit itself. Let's start with the transmitter, which is this guy right here. And the first thing that you will notice is this is an all-metal construction. Even the antenna is made of metal. It feels extremely sturdy and well built. On the top here you have the on-off switch. On the side here you have a little door. You can open it up. And in there you will find a USB connector and a link button. The USB connector is for charging the battery and updating firmware. Down at the bottom there is a door for the battery, which is also metal. And inside you find Shure's own battery, and according to the manual, a fully charged battery will give you up to 12 hours of playtime. Now if you should run out of battery, you can charge the battery for 15 minutes inside the unit using the USB cable, and you will get 1.5 hours of playtime, which is pretty nice on a 15-minute charge. On the back side there is of course a clip, so you can mount this on your guitar strap or belt or wherever you need it. The system comes with its own cable, which is installed in the transmitter with this special plug that you plug in, and then you secure it with this thumb screw like this, and the cable length, something like that. And finally there's this nice Neutrik gold-plated jack plug at the other end. Alright, let's get to the receiver, which is this one, built like a guitar pedal. It has these little bumps right here. Those are the antennas, but they are also protecting the screen and the buttons on the front of the pedal. You have a foot switch on the front, and that can activate the tuner. Yes, this unit does have a built-in tuner, which is awesome because you can ditch your normal tuner on your pedal board and just use this as both the receiver and tuner. I'm gonna give you a quick example of the tuner later in the video. It is a very precise and fast tuner, and I really like it. At the top of the pedal you have some ins and outs. There is a output here, and this is connected to my old box amp here. I am of course going to give you some sound examples later in the video. In the middle there is a plug for the power supply. The unit comes with a power supply, but you can also run it off your pedal board power supply. Just bear in mind that this needs 400 milliamps of current. Finally, there is an input jack, and that means that you can actually use this as a tuner pedal. If something should go wrong, perhaps your battery dies or whatever, you can still run into your pedal boards and use the tuner using a normal guitar cable, which is a very smart thing. Alright, let's get connected. I have plugged in my guitar. It's my Fender Strat. It's a Rode 160 loaded with Green River pickups, and it is going into the transmitter. So when I flick this little power switch here, the transmitter will connect to the receiver. It looks like this. You can see the flashing lights, and once they all light up like that, the transmitter is connected to the receiver. You also see that I have a green light indicating a good connection. Now these indicator lights up here are the battery indicator for the transmitter, and as you can see, it is fully charged. This blue diode right here says RF, means that this unit is now connected to the receiver. And if I turn up my volume knob and play something, yeah, we have sound. Also, when I'm playing, you can see that this little green indicator that says audio is lighting up, indicating that the audio signal is coming from the transmitter and into the receiver. In the middle there is a mute indicator, and that is because you have some different setups in the tuner, and we will get to that later. Alright, let's run through the buttons on the top of the pedal here. The first one is the link button, and that is used to link other GLXD16 transmitters to this receiver. You have the ability to link up to 12 different transmitters to one receiver. Now, if you have more than one receiver, it is very smart that you can identify which one is connected, and you do that by pressing the link button once. Then the display will say ID, and the connected transmitter will flash like this. Of course, if you only have one transmitter, then this function is not really something that you would use very often. The link button is also used to relink a transmitter to the receiver. As you saw before, I just had to turn the transmitter on and it would automatically link to the receiver. However, you can get into a situation where you need to relink, and that is done by holding down the link button on the receiver and holding down the link button in here on the transmitter. That will relink this transmitter to this receiver. Also, if you purchase another transmitter and you want to link it to the same receiver, you need to go through that procedure. Next is the mode button. You press it once and you get dB and 0, and this is because you can change the output level of the receiver like this. Press, you can go up, and it actually goes all the way to 40 decibels, and you can go down to -20. But in most cases you would just leave it at 0. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, this is a dual band system, which means it runs on the 2.4 or 5.8 gigahertz frequency band. Now, you can set this up to run on either the 2.4 or 5.8 gigahertz band, or to use both, which is the default setting. You change this setting like this. You power down the unit, you hold down the channel button and insert the power plug again. You hold it down for approximately 5 seconds. And now you have the option to set it up in either the 2.4 GHz or the 5.8 GHz, or the default setting, which is both of them. And you do this by pushing these up. Now it says BA2G, BA5G, or BA2G, BA5G. It's now in the dual band mode, and the system has found the best frequency and locked onto that by itself. The next button is this group button. Inside the receiver there are 3 groups of channels available to you, and you can toggle between them by pressing and holding the group button like this. Right now we are on group 1. You can see 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to leave it at 1. I'm just going to leave it like this, and it will log on to a frequency in that group. Now this can be a useful feature if you are in a situation with other people using wireless systems and you run into interference problems. You can change the group and the system will automatically scan for another frequency within that group. Also, if you run into interference problems and you just want to scan for a new frequency within the group that you are already in, you can just hit the channel button like this, and the system will find a new channel for you. Alright, let's flick the pedal into tuner mode. You do this by pressing the foot switch on the front like this. Now we are in tuner mode. And as you can see, the tuner is very fast and responsive, and I really like that. Now within the tuner there are a few settings we can change. You enter those settings by pressing the mode button like this. It will say menu, and the first setting we can change is a needle or a strobe-like tuner mode. I very much prefer the needle, so I'm going to put it into needle, and then I'm going to press the foot switch, because that's kind of like the enter button when you are in this menu. Alright, the next thing you can change is the way the tuner pedal handles the audio while you are tuning. There are 4 different modes. Let's run through them. I'm going to press the mode button to get into the menu and press it one more time, and now it says live, which means that you have audio when the tuner is on, and you have audio when the tuner is off. This is the setting that I prefer, so that I can leave it in tuner mode and just have it set up like that, and then I use another mute switch on my pedal board to mute the audio when I'm tuning. Right, let's check out the next one. It's called mute, and when you are in tuner mode, the pedal is muted. When you go out of tuner mode, audio. Right, next. Oh, sorry. Mute, we go to both and we choose that. Now you have audio in tuner mode. Press the foot switch. You mute the audio and you are still in tuner mode. Alright, and the final one, it's called AB. You have audio in tuner mode. And you have complete mute and no tuner in the second setting. The next menu is the display brightness, and once again you enter this by pressing the mode button once, then once again, and then once again, and then you can switch between these 4 settings. There is an A for auto, there is a light sensor inside the pedal that adjusts the display brightness, or you can set it to a fixed level on these 1, 2, and 3 settings. I'm gonna leave it at auto like this. Alright, next up is the ability to tune sharp or flat. Once again, the mode button enters the menu, press it again, and now we can set the tuner up to go sharp in half steps, up to 5 half steps sharp, or you can go 5, 6 half steps flat, and then set up the tuner like that. The next setting is the ability to show the sharp or flat symbols in the display when you are tuning. And you can do this by once again going into the menu, and in this setting you can choose to show sharps or flats or both. Finally, we have a reference tone setting. Right now it is set to the 440A tone. However, you can change that. Once again, you push the mode button. You keep pressing it till you get to this number. It is locked at 400, but you can change these numbers to 432 is the lowest, and 447 is the highest. I'm gonna leave it at 440 like this. Finally, you have the ability to lock all the buttons on the front of the panel so you don't accidentally change settings during a show or whatever. You do that by holding down these group and channel buttons like this, and the display will show LK as in locked. And now if I push anything, you can see the display is locked. You unlock it by once again pressing the group and channel switch until it says UN as in unlocked, and we are back to be able to change things. One of the things that I was very interested in was comparing this system to a cable, because I have been a cable guy for God knows how long. I've never really used a wireless system up until now. So I'm gonna compare this sound with the setup like this to a setup with a 3 meter long cable. So let's record some tones with the wireless system like it is set up right now. Right, let's plug in a cable. Right, going back to the wireless. And to my ears, the difference is completely insignificant. However, if you are using a very long cable from your guitar to the amp and you're used to that, there will probably be a difference, because these long cables will always cut off some of the top end. Now, I've had this system for a few weeks now, and I have had the opportunity to gig with it, and there was absolutely no problems with dropouts or anything. It just worked, and it was in an environment where there was Wi-Fi routers and cell phones and Bluetooth transmitters and all kinds of things. Still, no issues whatsoever. I also had the opportunity to use it at rehearsal, and it was in a room with a lot of transmitters for in-ear systems and Wi-Fi routers and computers and all kinds of things. And once again, no issues whatsoever, no interference, no dropouts, no nothing. It just works. Alright, thank you so much for watching my demo of the Shure GLXD Plus digital wireless guitar pedal system. I can't say enough good things about this system. It just works. I really like the form factor, the small form factor. I really like that you get a tuner inside here, and it's a really good tuner. No dropouts, no interference, no nothing. The build quality is amazing. I love it. And I love the fact that you just plug this in and turn it on and it just works. There are menus, there are things you can change, but basically you don't have to. You just put this on your board, stick this, well, the cable anyway, in your guitar, turn it on, and you're ready to rock. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next gear demo. Until then, stay wireless.